Okay, so now that we've introduced ourselves to the slope intercept form, y equals mx plus b, let's just continue to graph with some situations. We'll continue to practice. So the first one, we're asked to graph y equals negative 3 halves x plus 1. Well, the good news is this is already in y equals mx plus b. All right, so right in front of the x is our slope. So we have a line that's decreasing, right? And then b is equal to 1. So this tells us that our y-intercept is at 0, 1. So this was already in a nice, useful form. I have a point, I have a direction, my slope. So we're ready to start graphing. So I'll go to my grid, my x, and my y, right? And we're going to plot the location 0, 1. That's the first solution point. And then, so how do we find another solution point to this graph? Well, we just basically move the way the slope tells me to. So since we're negative 3 halves, again, there's two ways you can interpret that. You can put the negative up in the numerator, or you can put the negative down in the denominator. So if it's up in the numerator, that tells us to go down 1, 2, 3, and then to the right 2. So there's my other solution point, right? It looks like it's at 2, negative 2. Although if we use this one, it tells us to go up 1, 2, 3, and then back 1, 2. And so there's another solution point. And so that looks like it's occurring at what, negative 2, 4. Okay, and as I asked you guys, I always want you guys to find at least 3 solution points. You have. One came from the equation itself. The other 2 came from doing your direction. So where are all the other solution points? They're right along that line. Right? Arrows indicating that this goes on forever and ever. So pretty easy to graph if it's already in that form. Right? Number 2, unfortunately, it's not in the form we want. Right? That's in the general form. So we have to work a little bit harder. Right? We got to put it, rewrite it in the slope intercept form. All right? So that's what we want right there. So we'll begin by subtracting 2x from both sides. Right, that'll give us the equation negative 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. And then we'll divide both sides by a negative 3. And then keep in mind there's 2 fractions here. Right, the first fraction we have a negative divided by a negative. So that's 2/3 x. Second fraction we got 6 over negative 3, which results in a minus 2. And so we now have y equals mx plus b. So the m, the direction we need to move, is 2/3. b is equal to negative 2, so that tells us that our intercept is occurring at 0, negative 2. So I have everything I need to graph, right? I have a point, a location, and I have a direction. So we'll just put our grids together, right? So there's my y-axis, oops, and here's my x-axis, and we're going to start at the point 0, negative 2, right? And then we're going to move up 2 and to the right 3. Up 2 or to the right 3. Or if we think of this as a double negative, we can move down 2 and to the left 3. All right, so more than enough points. I always ask for 3. I've got 4 just by following my motion. So again, this is a picture, right? Remember, this graph, these are all the solution points that solve that equation, right? That's what a graph is. So a little faster to do it this way rather than the point plotting. Last example. Sorry, you got my grandson talking in the background. All right, he's helping Tata out. He's the technical director. But y equals 2/5 x, right? That looks a little funny, but technically speaking, right, there's like a plus 0 there. Anything added to 0 is just itself. So that's a sneaky way to write y equals mx plus b, right? So clearly the m is 2/5 and b is equal to 0, meaning that we are crossing at 0, 0, right? So one of those funny little graphs that has both the x and y intercept occurring at the origin. So we're ready to graph, right? We have a point to start at, right? We're starting at the origin, 0, 0. And then the motion is telling me to go up 2 and to the right 5. Or if we think of this as a double negative, we can go down 2 and to the left 5. So there's my 3 pieces of data, and we'll connect them with the line segment, and there's your picture, right? So this represents forever and ever with the arrows, right? This represents all the solutions to the equation y equals 2/5 x. All right, so hopefully you guys are getting familiar with this form. It's a great form to graph with. It gives us exactly what we need, a point and a slope. All right, so keep on working, and I'll see you guys in the next video.